That's not absolutely necessary. Oh, this is an original Make America Great Again hat.
From the Rome one.
Oh, yeah. That's right. You guys went out there and froze to death, didn't you?
Yeah, we stayed warm running.
Walked 6 miles. Chold, yo. You still representing that Georgia gear, I guess.
Always.
I'm going to come back to this.
Voting Giant Meteor tonight.
Giant Meteor. Why do I look so old? Giant Meteor. What do you sound like, Killa?
I don't know. What do I sound like?
You sound like, I don't know.
I need a dart.
I can't tell. He's not talking.
I need
Say-
a dart.
You got to say something or the sound check is not
Every
gonna
time
work.
I say something,
Just talk. It doesn't matter.
I need a Darth Vader filter. Just
Hear yourself?
yeah, I can hear myself fine.
Can I hear myself? I can hear myself. Turn me up just a little bit. Just a higher. Beautiful. Oh, that's fantastic. It's not a delay. It's just me hearing it twice. I had to get past that. Yeah. In my ear and in my skull. You feel good?
Back and forth between
Oh,
them.
I know you just got here and we've been down here pushing buttons and whatnot.
I mean, we're already recording, so
Yeah.
I swapped cables after the last one.
Oh, yeah. We kicked that wire around and lost sound 3 or 4 times. It was fun, though. Whew.
Let me bounce back up there.
You're good. Do your thing, man. Anywho, we're back, and we're making America great again.
I already feel richer.
Yeah, right there. I'm sure that my wallet, I haven't looked, but I'm sure there's more money in there now.
Like my gas tank felt fuller on the way here.
Did it? Extra slosh in there on the way?
It might be the cold, but
I didn't even look. Did you notice gas prices on the way?
I passed like 2 gas stations and
Yeah, I passed like 4, I think, on the way here, and I didn't even think to look at the sign. I'm sure they're lower than they were when I bought emergency fuel yesterday because of the weather or whatever.
at 12:01. they
Yeah.
just
I know
tanked.
my crypto is much better than it was. It's had a good day.
See, I'm not any of the crypto, but my stocks aren't trading today because
Yeah.
of MLK. So
I'm not like super into it. I got a little bit of some pretty obscure stuff.
I know they just
But they did
released the
well.
Trump coin. today.
Yeah, I got to look at that, I guess. I don't know. What do you know
I've got no clue.
what you can buy?
I just got a
for?
notification about it today.
I don't know. I have no idea. The Trump coin. That should probably be something we're all aware of, I guess. Or maybe we're going to rescue the dollar and just bring it back and everything's going to be okay.
So what is one Trump coin worth?
I don't know.
Is it $1?
Let's find. Wouldn't that be nice?
He just released a new dollar.
What is a Trump coin worth? We're doing our own research because our research assistant / producer / editor is grilling ribs. He's smoking ribs upstairs right now.
It is currently trading for $39.31.
Wow,
A coin.
really?
It has gone downhill all day.
Gone down all day. I wonder why. How's the dollar doing?
Well, probably because it was artificially high at $65 this morning.
Whoa. That's a good point. So we're really good at like artificially inflating stuff. What was it? GameStop? The Reddit people did a couple of years ago?
GameStop, AMC.
Yeah. And they just blew them up and all the dorks got super rich.
Anytime anything new releases. And
Yeah. I love it. That's the man, like the average guy, sticking it back to the man, I guess.
I mean, even though half of those average guys ended up losing everything. But
Yeah. There's always that line where things are going great until they're not going great, and then it's just downhill again, and people want to think, oh, it'll come back. And
well, and then they started making up rules after the fact, like, hey, you can't play like that. You know,
yeah.
calling him out at second base after he's been standing there for 2 hours.
I mean, we gamed the system, right? And now we're trying to be punished for it? Like, I don't think so.
As long as they're making money, they're happy.
Yeah. But they don't, though. In that instance, I guess the GameStop crowd took advantage of the moment. I don't blame them.
I don't
I'm
either.
mad at anybody that games a system like that. Sick of getting gamed all the time.
I'm a little more not traditional in my stocks. I've got some Tesla.
Okay.
So I read that to the top.
Yeah. I had some Tesla for a while and did pretty good. And then I got in a spot where I needed the money, so I had to dump it. But
Yeah, I'm about there.
yeah, yeah. So what is, let's just roll it out. You sit down in this chair across from me and there's nothing off limits. What is your employment scenario like today?
None.
None, zero. Okay. So if you're hiring out there.
Yeah, if you're hiring, message the show for my resume.
Right. Yeah. We'll send it straight to you. What were you doing? What was your last gainful employment?
So I was a digital marketing coordinator for a carpet company.
Oh, okay.
And loved what I was doing, and they just had a restructure and said, well, you're out. And finding jobs like that around here is just a little tougher than I thought. And
that's tough because there's only, you look at there's two names around here, and you were at one of them, and they didn't need you anymore. So that was that.
And they had a third party one kind of moving over out towards Castle White, and they ended up only hiring bilingual. And it's like, well, I was raised in Cassville, Georgia.
Yeah.
The only other language
we speak
I know.
American around here.
I speak English and redneck.
Yeah, that's tough though, man. Because the way the market is now, they want experience, right? But how do you get experience if nobody will hire you?
Well, it's really shifted to the name of the degree on your diploma, because I have the experience being a digital marketing coordinator. I, essentially ran our department for 2.5 months whenever we had people out, and I had to learn everything, and I became proficient in everything. But because I have a management degree, a lot of places just aren't even offering an interview. That's kind of the feedback I've gotten is, well, we had people that had marketing degrees that stepped in. So that being said, I'm
overqualified. Is that the
I'm back in school now at LSU online, doing a digital marketing certification.
So how do you square that with your choice of hoodie tonight?
Go Dogs.
Okay. It's just the enemy of my enemy or whatever.
Yeah, I always, was fond of LSU.
Yeah.
Just as a football school, till we played them in 2018, 2019. That kind of ruined the vibe, but they were a great school until Kelly got there.
Man, I was a Kelly fan when he was at Notre Dame because he had only ever won at Cincinnati, at Eastern, at where was he at Grand Valley? That he was winning national championships, and he gets to Notre Dame and he's doing really good. He's winning 10 games a year, and it's just not enough. I didn't care. I was happy they won 10 games a year.
Joined a conference.
Stop, and share the bajillion dollars from bowl games and exclusive TV deals with Vanderbilt, NC State. Who are we going to share that with? Jobbers that didn't even go to a bowl game. I'm a college football elitist now after not following for so long.
You just hopped in as soon as Notre Dame made the playoffs.
I did. We were just talking about this, but I was I got out because I thought the postseason was ridiculous. It's just dumb. 4 teams out of all these teams, we can come up with 4 teams, and 2 of them are from the same conference over and over and over again. This is stupid. So they go to 12, and I think, well, I'm going to give it a shot. And I'd been a Notre Dame fan since I was a wee lad, even as a Protestant from Georgia, because we talked about this, I think, when you were on the podcast last time, because their helmets were gold, and I was colorblind, and I could still see the gold helmets. So I'm like, I'm going to follow the playoffs and see how it goes, see how I like it. And I didn't follow, so I didn't know that Notre Dame was in the playoffs. And now I'm trying to be an unbiased observer so I can evaluate this and go, do I want to follow college football? And it turns out my team's in it. So I'm like, I have to be a fan now. But I even failed at that because I forgot and didn't watch their game against Penn State.
You didn't miss all that much.
Yeah.
Last minute field goal. That's about it.
Somebody is doing this really cool thing on YouTube where they're taking these games and they're cutting out all the dead time. So you can watch an entire football game in 30 minutes or whatever.
What was it, a 20-minute full game?
I think there was 24 minutes was what it took to get that whole. It was the highlights. So I guess there were probably some plays that got left out where 1-yard runs or whatever. But that's how I watched that game later on that night. But I'm back. I'm on college football, but it's hard for me to stay interested because it's taking so long.
Yeah, the time between games.
Yeah.
I mean, NFL, you've got week
Just
after
play
week
every
after week,
Yeah.
plus your Super Bowl
Yeah.
bye, but
And
you know
Super
when the next
Bowl,
game is.
Right. It's just next week, right? We'll just tune back in, same bat time, same bat channel.
What do you feel about these Monday night games? I mean, we've
This
played
is
Wednesdays, Thursdays.
This is the dumbest thing ever. And it's been that way forever. They've always played the championship game on Monday. But like, why? We all got to go to work tomorrow.
Yeah. I mean, even if you played it on a Sunday night on a year, especially with MLK Day,
Yeah.
you're not going to work the next day.
Right. Most people are not. But I mean, when did we play college football? We play college football on Saturdays, except for the playoffs when we're going to play on Tuesday and Wednesday. And there's probably some people in a room somewhere that know more about it than we do that understand why that's a good idea. But
I think it's just money.
It's got to be.
I still think you'd get more people to tune in on a Saturday night.
Yeah, like why would people not watch on a Saturday that would watch on a Monday?
Yeah, and I get that they have it the NFL games, the playoff games too on Saturday. Okay,
Yeah.
well they played those at 12 and 3.
Yeah,
this Saturday. Like,
just play them late or play them early or whatever the NFL's not doing.
I mean, we're playing at 8:30 at night anyway.
Yeah,
I guess 7:30 tonight.
yeah, it's 7:30. What time is it now? 6:46. We got time. We're good. We got time. Got to let Tango finish these ribs anyway.
Yeah,
on the smoker. I'm excited about that.
I can trust him with that.
Yeah, it's gonna be all right.
I walked up and I smelled the smoke. I was like, oh,
yeah,
he's cooking.
Game on. Game on. It's gonna be good.
Some guy smoking back.
I mean, right now, yeah, gotta get a camera on that guy. What are your thoughts on that? You want to do that again?
Yeah, we're hoping to. We've got everything that we need still.
So run us back a little bit for somebody who's tuning in for the first time ever. What is Some Guys Smoking?
So Some Guys Smoking is exactly what it sounds like, but it's not what it sounds like.
Okay, that's great, Preston. Good job. Clear
Usually when I tell people, they either get it immediately or like, oh, you smoke that good? No, we were smoking ribs. Well, actually, I guess our 2 episodes were frog legs and smoked sausage, but
meat though. You're smoking meat. Yeah.
It all started during COVID. Me and Hayden were hanging out in the garage.
Tango.
Wednesday nights. Oh, sorry, Tango. Hanging out in the garage Wednesday nights after church, and we'd end up smoking ribs, and it would take forever. And we were like, "What if we recorded these conversations?" Like
just hanging out by the smoker.
Yeah. I mean, 2 folding chairs out, trying to blow the smoke away from our face, and we're like, "We've got all the material.
Yeah,
we've got the cameras, we got the mics. Why don't we do it?" And got a couple of episodes in and hit some road bump.
You guys set the bar pretty high, though.
It was a full-blown production the first day.
Yeah, it was, because I'm watching the first one, and I'm like, holy smokes, they must have spent hours just like longer editing than actually recording the episode.
It was probably the first time we took any of our work actually seriously.
Mm-hmm.
It was before I got into video editing, any of that. And it's just kind of the first time that we didn't have somebody else to please.
Yeah.
It was just for our own
own
gain. And we're like, well, if we're going to make it, let's make it good.
Yeah. I mean, why not, right?
It worked out.
Yeah. So are you open, I guess, to doing that again?
Yeah. We've definitely talked about it. We've got a laser cut sign up there now.
Oh, yeah. You're on the whiteboard over here, too, of potential ideas that we're going to roll out.
It's coming back.
Yeah. Why not? Why not? You're here a lot anyway.
Yeah.
I'm
usually here smoking.
Yeah, right. And that's why you're here. It's a cool concept, though.
You know, we've had plenty of ideas of people to have on.
Mm-hmm.
It's just hard putting that all together. I'm sure you know that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's when it was just me, like I could sit down and press record and go, and then I had a guest, and now I got to coordinate schedules with my guest. And then Tango comes in, and now I got to coordinate my schedule with Tango's with the guest. And you know, as you grow and add things to your show, like the scheduling becomes more and more difficult.
The production value goes way up, though.
Oh, it does. It's so much better. And these conversations are, I say, like if it's just me, it's not a conversation at all.
Yeah.
But when it becomes a conversation, it's so much easier. And if you're talking about a specific thing like smoking meat, we got this type of pellet and this kind of rub and this kind of sauce and whatever.
And our idea with it was really it was recording while we were passing the time smoking. Because anybody that's smoked anything more than some chicken legs knows it takes hours.
It takes time, yeah.
I mean, we did a turkey and deer hindquarter one night that just took like 8 hours.
Man.
I want to say it was like 4:30 in the morning when we finally pulled them off.
Wow.
That was a long cook.
Yeah.
Especially not expecting it to be that long.
So what time did you start?
I mean, I pulled up here probably about 5:30, and the guy had just shot the deer up the hill.
Oh, wow. Just like that.
Yeah. He was dressing it there in the yard and said, "Hey, y'all want a hindquarter?"
Absolutely, we do.
Absolutely. And at that point, I guess Hayden had actually just thrown it on there. Because I was supposed to come and clean the turkey and spatchcock it.
Yeah.
That way it wouldn't take as long. And when I got here, I saw something on the smoker, but I was like, I didn't clean the turkey yet. And so...
Not the bird.
I was like, what's going on? And so I guess that probably went on about 4 o'clock. 4:30. I got here about 5.
So you're looking at like 12 hours.
Yeah, it's pretty much a 12-hour smoke.
Woo.
But I mean, we were making sandwiches. We were
just hanging out.
We had backstrap. He gave us a backstrap too. I was like, this guy doesn't know what he's giving away, does he?
What are we doing giving away backstrap?
And so we had that on there, bacon wrapped. That was done about halfway through, so we could we made sandwiches of that about midnight.
I'm starving, Preston. I'm so hungry.
That was some good stuff. And a lot of people are like, oh, you got to bleed your meat. It's too gamey.
It's honestly, not gamey.
It never cooled down.
Yeah. If you take it straight out of the field onto the smoker, it's not gamey. Yeah. Gaminess comes from, and this is not Danny Burnham like Steve Ranella, those guys will say, gaminess comes from how it's handled after it's killed. Mm-hmm. It wasn't handled at all. It went straight from alive to the smoker.
Yeah, like he gutted it 50 yards from where we ended up cooking
fantastic. It. That is fantastic.
You can't get fresher than that.
You can't. And you usually get like the tenderloin, right? We'll eat the tenderloin right now. And then the rest of it goes up and people want to bleed it and do all kinds of stuff. But like, man, if we can just toss a quarter on the smoker, let's go.
Most unexpected moment of our smoking lives.
Just presented with a deer. That's nice.
Like I've been given pieces of deer before. Yeah. It goes in the freezer and comes out eventually. But I've never been given one that's like, hey, we're throwing it on the smoker now.
Yeah, immediately. Yeah. That's awesome though.
Yeah. It was definitely a good cook.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if I have the patience for a 12-hour smoke. Maybe I do.
If you were to start it earlier in the day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's a little better.
Yeah.
Sit down at 9 o'clock and eat, but
yeah, I'm a little bit of a night owl anyway, but I don't know about finishing up at 4:30 in the morning.
Well, the problem is you put off eating until then.
Right.
And so it's like
Thanksgiving Day when you don't eat breakfast and you're just trying to tough it out until the big meal.
About 2 o'clock, you're like, all right, bro, I'm getting hungry.
Yeah.
And that's kind of, bringing up TikTok with this whole TikTok ban recently.
Oh man. Yeah.
I was never a TikTok fan.
Mm-hmm.
In those cooks, because we wanted to eat something sooner, I would just throw a random frozen good in the smoker. And so I started a Will It Smoke series on TikTok. Did it take off? No. But it's still got the most views on my page.
Yeah.
Compared to anything I've done.
What does it mean to take off? Like, what's the standard? Are we taking off?
They pulled a solid 2,000 views whenever I had that 50 subscriber follower, I guess.
I had a TikTok that I forgot about. I made one because I had a couple buddies that just would send me TikToks all day long on Facebook or Instagram. And it got to be where you couldn't watch them there. Like, they wouldn't open, wouldn't run. So I was like, okay, well, just send them to me on TikTok. And then I forgot. And so I go on the other day when people are talking about TikTok shutting down, and I got like 900 messages. Okay.
Yeah, I was going through all my old ones the other day, and I mean, there's stuff from May that I hadn't watched. I think even one from March. I was like, I'm not on here much.
Yeah. So like in all this, I realized that I don't need my TikTok, so I just deleted it.
Yeah. The only reason I even remembered those smoking videos were from like them going through the band. I was like, oh, what am I losing?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, absolutely nothing.
Nothing at all. Nothing.
But yeah, we'd cook frozen pizzas. I want to say even one time we did Oreos on the smoker.
Ooh, I've had deep fried Oreos, never had smoked Oreos.
Yeah, they just kind of turn into cake.
Okay.
I did do some bacon wrapped Oreos over the summer or football season. Yeah, you need to get into college football because I'll throw down during the fall.
I know you and my buddy Josh Lambert, like every Saturday I'm looking at, he's got, some big slab of ribs or something on the smoker, waiting for the tide to come on.
Yeah, I've gotten a little complicated with some of my cooks this past year, but
yeah,
they came out pretty good.
Yeah. One of the best tailgates I ever went to was we were at Jacksonville State. My brother was coaching for Murray State, had gone to school at Jacksonville State, and they were playing down there, and we went over, and Jerry Roden, his son Evan, was playing for Jack State, and Jerry had like the most elaborate tailgate I've ever seen in my life.
One of the big smokers.
Yeah, the whole
takes
tent, the whole
takes
9
up
yards.
a whole other parking spot.
Yeah, they brought like 40 chairs, and they were just feeding everybody, and it was fantastic. So I can get behind that. I've just got to work my way back into not like Buffalo Bill fandom because those people are nuts. God bless them.
But
But
like
like,
dive off of RV into a
yeah, and like
table.
elbow smash a table. This one's wood. This would kill both of us.
Yeah.
But yeah, I could get behind that part. Like, let's eat good.
Yeah. Well, I feel like there's just something about football, especially in the fall. You get one of those cool afternoons,
Yeah.
throwing down some barbecue,
Yeah.
hot wings.
Yeah.
We've become the place for all of our friends to come over.
Yeah.
We don't even ask, where people are going anymore.
It's just assumed that.
Yeah, people show up. They see what time the game is. They're like, all right, I'll be there around.
Yeah.
We don't even have to invite people. They just show up. And,
Just be there.
and people have even started bringing their traditional food. Like, I don't even have to ask what they're bringing anymore. My friend Brooklyn, he brings some of the best buffalo chicken dip. I don't even ask anymore.
It just shows up.
He just says he's showing up. I'm like, all right,
Oh, man.
I'll have chips for it.
Why not, right? I don't know. It's a good excuse to eat. Like, I think about, we just went through the holidays, and your Thanksgiving meal is like the pinnacle meal of the entire year. And then Christmas dinner is usually pretty good, too. And I'm going, why do we only do this twice? But you guys don't. You guys do it 12 times in the fall, and then it rolls into Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Yeah, I practice in the summer for the fall.
Yeah. Okay.
You'll see me post some stuff
I got you.
whenever I've got time during the summer. That if I'm just staying home doing yard work,
Yeah.
something's on the smoker.
I've always wanted to like be good at grilling, and I do okay. I can do hamburgers and chicken, stuff like that. But like as far as a big elaborate thing, I've always wanted to be good at that. But again, I don't know that I have the attention span for it.
It just takes time.
Yeah.
Honestly, my grandmother hates me for this. I experiment.
Your grandmother doesn't hate you, Preston.
I'll show her this clip. She might agree.
Okay.
I experiment with everything I cook. Like,
That's the whole deal, right?
it doesn't matter what the recipe says. I'm
Yeah.
always trying to throw something in, or I make my own seasoning, own sauce, just something different. And she gets so upset when I don't follow the recipe.
Oh, man.
And so I'll go over to her house every Tuesday, and we'll cook a lot.
Yeah.
She's like, Preston, stay away from the hot sauce.
Don't you do
Don't
it.
do it.
Have you ever seen the guy? What's his name's Justin something. He was a Cajun guy that had a cooking show way back in the day, and he was the same way. He would like be talking. You need a teaspoon of whatever, and he's holding the spoon, and he's got the shaker, and it's just mounded up on the spoon and rolling off the sides, and he's like, only a teaspoon of this, and and it just
I
keeps
never
going.
measure anything.
Yeah, he wasn't either, but he's Cajun, and I think if you're Cajun, there's a little bit of that in your DNA, and you can just get away with it.
Yeah.
And it works out, but
Yeah. I get it. In baking, you got to be specific, but I don't bake.
yeah, I'm not interested in baking at all.
I made a Brunswick stew. It was actually for a chili competition. Mm-hmm. And the year before, we had some interesting entries. So I texted the guy. I was like, hey, what's the definition of chili?
Okay. That's what I was going to ask.
Because I was like, the ones that won the year before, none of them were an actual chili. So I was like, well, I want to have fun with this. I don't care about winning as much, but I want to make something good. And so I asked him what the definition of chili was. And he said it's a collection of ingredients in a bowl. And
soup? I mean, like, what are we?
yeah, so
cereal?
essentially, he was protecting his wife's chicken taco.
Okay.
Essentially a taco soup.
Yeah.
Somebody showed up with a bowl of ice water and said, it's ingredients in a bowl.
That's just one ingredient, though, in two different forms.
Yeah.
Unless you count the bowl.
But I'd started off doing a chili, but I was like, chili is chili.
Yeah.
They all taste the same.
Well, sort of. You ever been out west and had chili?
I have not.
It's like salsa.
Okay.
So, like, you can go, there are places out west you can go and get a chili burger at McDonald's or Wendy's or one of these fast food places that we think of.
They do the thick chili, right?
Yeah. And but it's just like salsa.
Yeah.
There aren't beans and meat and all that stuff in it. It's like a whole different thing.
Yeah. That's essentially the definition I went for.
Yeah. Yeah.
But essentially, I made a Brunswick stew completely from scratch. Like, I looked at a recipe just to see like the general direction to make sure I wasn't missing anything. But I just walked around Food City. I was like, oh, I got leftover ribs. So I shredded all the meat off the ribs. Got a rotisserie chicken. A little bit of ground beef.
All right.
I just grabbed a bunch of frozen vegetables I thought would be good in it.
Preston, what are we doing here, man? What are we doing? You're trying to find a job as a digital marketer. And like, whatever. God bless digital marketers.
That's where the money is.
Is it, or is it?
I can't be a chef.
Why not?
No money. Plus, I could never make it the same way twice. It would always be a surprise.
Maybe not a chef. I mean, like a restaurant chef or whatever. But like Briggs was on here once. We were talking about the great Johnny Briggs food truck.
Mm-hmm. I'll market his food truck.
Why don't you market your own food truck? Y'all together, collective food truck.
I mean, that works.
Too many cooks in the kitchen? Like, how does that go? You and Briggs cook together?
We've cooked together a couple times.
Okay.
I mean, he's more specific about his recipes. Like, he's got a recipe, he's sticking to it.
All right.
Whereas I'd be like...
You not so much? Had a little extra pinch in there.
Oh, how did that lemon get in there?
I don't know. I got to find this guy's name because it's bothering me now. Justin.
A lot of the ideas I get come from some of these social media cooks and chefs.
Yeah.
Like Kuso.
Yeah. People that are just kind of winging it. Justin Wilson. That was easy enough.
I mean, they're doing all these crazy things. I'm like, oh, I could do that.
Yeah.
But
I don't know, man. I don't know. It beats the job you have now.
It does.
You know? No offense.
I actually had a video lined up today, hoping to make some money, but that fell through. So
beans. So with that said, One Fish Production is your video company. We call it a company, business.
For legal and tax purposes, it is not.
It is not. It is just Preston doing business as.
Yeah. I've been trying to put a little more into that. Had a cool shoot a couple weeks ago with the Kai Sinet. I didn't know anything about him until...
Yeah, I don't either. No idea.
I got there. And they were like, oh, no, this guy's like the #1 streamer. I was like, oh, cool.
What are we talking about? What kind of streamer?
He streams like, I guess, reaction videos. And
okay.
I guess he plays a little bit of video games, but it's more of like off the rails podcast.
Right.
No.
Okay.
I watched a little bit of his stuff. He's been on a lot of stuff with Kevin Hart recently.
Where was this guy?
What, like
when you ran into him?
So he was having his cars wrapped by Orange Crush King. Mm-hmm. He's a guy in Atlanta that pretty much pimped my ride.
Yeah.
It was his birthday, and he wrapped all of his cars to match. He had a Hellcat Red Eye, Durango SRT.
Spending money on cars.
A Lambo Urus, and some type of AMG in the back. But we were there recording a guy that was wrapping the cars and buffing out the... you're rich whenever you have an acrylic cut through to look into your engine through the hood.
Yeah.
Do you have one of those?
No, I don't on my 2004 Ford Expedition.
Yeah, he wanted that buffed out, and so we got to work on that. And,
okay.
Just a cool experience to take pictures of cars.
So you're shooting this and making your video, whatever.
Yeah. Really, it was more photography than anything else.
Yeah.
We did get some quick videos out of it. But it was the first time I was challenged by like lighting in a situation.
Mm-hmm.
Like we showed up and it's in this dusty garage.
Oh man, that's got to be tough.
I'm like, oh, I was not expecting this.
Yeah. Do you like bring lighting with you?
I did.
Okay.
Knowing how like high of a profile
Yeah.
guy this was, I was like, well, I'm going to bring everything. And so
Yeah.
when I picked my buddy up that I was shooting with, he was like, what is all this? I was like, well, it's in case we need anything.
Just in case. This truckload of gear.
I had the entire back of the truck loaded up with crates, and that was for lights and drones and gimbals and whatever I needed to make it happen. And it worked out. Pretty cool shots. I think I posted them on Instagram.
What's your Instagram?
One Fish Production. Number one Fish Production.
You're on Facebook too, right?
Yeah, Facebook also.
Okay, yeah.
Might be harder to find it there. I share more.
Yeah. So if you're in like the Atlanta to Northwest Georgia area and you need that kind of thing done, hit Preston up.
You need marketing. You need video, photo work.
My dude needs a job, y'all. He's trying to get married one day, and ladies don't like unemployed guys.
They do not. Not one bit.
But you're
moms don't like unemployed.
I know,
sons.
right? You got moms sliding your money under the table that dad doesn't know about. And
she is? Where's this money?
God bless him. But yeah, my dude needs a job, so hook him up. Maybe even a contract, maybe not even a job, but just some payment. You got good stuff, and like anybody that goes on your socials or whatever can see it.
I try to put the best thing out there.
Yeah.
A lot of people, you get hired for your style, and I have developed somewhat of a style.
Mm-hmm.
But my goal with any video is to do what they want.
Yeah.
And so many photographers and videographers out there don't do that. I give you options.
Yeah.
I'm working on a commitment graphic right now for one of the Cast High players, and I said, I'll give you 3 or 4 options, whatever you'd like.
Yeah.
Let me know and I'll develop it more.
Yeah.
And most people are like, oh, here's one. You're done.
Well, why would a videographer do that? Like, unless you say, like, I talked to Tango and I'm like, hey, here's this footage. Do whatever you want with it. So in that case, he does whatever he wants.
Yeah.
But there are other times when I'm going to say, hey, this is kind of where I want this to go, whatever. But why would you just take liberties?
So a lot of times, editing a video, it takes a lot of time.
Yeah.
Especially wedding videos, stuff like that.
Yeah.
They take weeks, if not months of nonstop work. And before I got into this, I was like, oh, who takes 2 months to work on a wedding video? And I'm like, oh, I take 2 months.
Everybody. Yeah.
And so if you're having to go back and do it multiple times, that just triples, quadruples the amount of time that you're putting into it and all that to choose one of them. And so a lot of times you'll get hired for your style. Somebody likes that style of it. And with weddings, pretty much I do have one style, and that's how I.
A wedding is a wedding, right? Everybody thinks their wedding's special. It's not. It's just.
Don't say that to my clients.
No.
I need to.
Yeah. But I mean, there's just a way that you have to shoot a wedding, because there are things that happen at every wedding.
Yeah.
You walk down the aisle, you stand in front of the room. There's grooms on the left and brides on the right, whatever.
And I've shot a couple with Tango. It's good to have somebody that you work good with.
Yeah.
Like I can send him off. Hey, go handle the groom right now.
Right.
And I don't have to worry about looking at the shots when he gets back.
Yeah.
Oh, did you get this? He kind of
Tango's a pretty good shooter too.
Yeah. He's real cinematic.
Yeah.
And so, having somebody that I can trust to do that, it's a big part of it. Especially somebody that has a similar style to me.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like, oh, this is weird, mixed in with my footage.
Right. There's like a few frames that are just something completely way off.
You got them like doing loops around the groom.
Yeah. Yeah. Like,
you get to the bride and it's just a standard shot in.
Yeah.
But, a lot of times, I'm given creative freedom and it's cool to run with. I'm always scared that it won't be good enough.
Yeah. Well, if you're going to say you have creative freedom, like you better be cool with whatever comes back.
Yeah. And some people struggle with that.
Yeah.
It's
not what I wanted. Well, you should have told me what you wanted.
Yeah. And I love it whenever somebody sends me if I'm doing a reel for somebody, they send me one that somebody else did.
Yeah.
I mean, reels are copied nowadays.
Right. It's
all the sounds are the same.
Yeah.
And so, there might be 10,000 reels with that, but that's what goes viral.
Yeah.
Have you seen the Ya 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 videos?
Mm-mm.
I'll get Tango to drop
I heard
one in
one
here.
the other day. My daughter was watching one in the other room, and I was like, "What is that?"
Yeah, it's like some singing convention lesson type thing.
Okay.
And for some reason, it just went off the rails, and
Just blew up.
everybody started using it. Racing, football. And so
Yeah,
I've been
yeah.
making some racing videos with it, and
Okay.
I'm like, I don't know what this has to do with it.
But it doesn't matter. Like I'm learning this. When we started doing shorts just a few months ago, we're like, oh, that's an important thing to do. And I start out with shorts that are like hashtag Burnham podcast, hashtag like had a soldier on the show, hashtag army. Like that doesn't work. You have to like hashtag YouTube shorts.
Yeah.
Well, it's got nothing to do with my video, but those are the things that you just got to do what works in terms of
So a little
virality.
tip. I use ChatGPT to generate my hashtags.
You just ask it what hashtags you
I
need.
say, hey, I've got a video about this. What hashtags would help it go viral? Now, obviously, it doesn't help that much.
Right.
But
Some-
reels that would normally not
I
do
don't know,
anything.
I forget the name of the website that I go on that has lists of all like the current trending hashtags from YouTube and Instagram and Facebook, whatever. That's where I get them from, but I don't remember the website. It just stays up on my laptop all the time.
It's that one Chrome browser that's been running since 1993.
Yeah. Since Windows 95. But yeah, I don't know. That whole thing, that publicity end of things is like, that's a struggle for me still.
Yeah.
Because it's hard for me to sit like I'm putting you on the spot here to talk about your talents and abilities and things. Like, it's hard for me to tell people I have a podcast.
Yeah.
Because you don't want them to think you're that guy.
Hey,
You know?
it's not hard for me. I wear this hat everywhere.
Yeah,
I've got like 3
Well,
variations.
that's what I've got to get to that point where I can wear a shirt with my own face on it. Like, what's that? Well, it's my podcast. Okay, you dork.
I mean, I'm putting stickers all over.
I'll still.
You walk around the pits at the racetrack.
Preston's everywhere.
There's like
with
20,
camera.
30 cars
Do I have?
that have. I don't have my sticker.
There's one. When I have my laptop here, there's one on it.
Yeah, it's on everything.
Yeah.
You know,
There's 100 of them in this room right here behind us. Just a pile of them.
It's funny to walk around and see that. I'll get people that text me, "Hey, I saw your face on the car."
Yeah.
And of course, they'll send me the picture of the car, like driving cars, not race cars.
Right.
I'll be like, "Oh, I know who that is."
Yeah.
It's usually people that I know in that case.
Yeah.
It was interesting. One time, I was sitting at the Whataburger down on Chastain Road, and I look up in front of me, and there's my face on a truck that I didn't recognize.
Isn't that weird? That I ran into that at a jiu-jitsu tournament at Lake Point. I walk out in the parking lot and I was like, hey, that's me on the tailgate of that truck. It's weird.
Yeah, it was weird, and I was kind of like, I'm looking around trying to see who's in
It's
the
cool.
cab.
Yeah, like, do I know that guy? That's exactly what you hope for, though, when you order those stickers.
Yeah.
And then when it happens, you're like, wait a minute, this is
Well, he had a vanity plate, and that's what gave it away. It was a driver I'd given it to at Dixie
okay, yeah.
that I didn't have any like personal connection to, but anybody that I take a picture of their car, I'm like, here's my business card and a sticker.
Yeah.
Stickers end up exactly where I want them to be.
Right.
I've even got people that are like, hey, give me 2 or 3. I'm going to go stick them on so-and-so's fuel cell.
Okay.
And they go to wash the car the next week. They're like, what's this?
Where'd that sticker come from? Yeah. But I mean, that's part of it. Getting your name, your face, your business name, that stuff out there.
It's been cool. Last season, I ended up having my logo on 2 cars. One down in at East Alabama. Caleb Burdett's car.
The famous East Alabama.
Oh yeah, that's actually my favorite speedway now.
I love that place. It's
I
the Wild
hate the
West.
drive.
Yeah, it's a terrible place to get to from here, but
And then another one, Mike Mims here out of Rome. He races
Mims.
up at North Georgia.
okay, yeah. That name sounded really familiar.
I've been able to work with him this season or last season. Wrecked his car, so he spent most of the season not driving, but he's racing. He went from 602 to super.
See, I don't even know now what is super.
That's top. That's the biggest motor.
See, when I was involved in racing, like super late model was the thing, but they didn't specify numbers. It was a little bit more.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what he does this season.
Yeah.
Car looks good. Mike, if you're watching, I'll probably send this to you. Car looks good. And by the way, I have something for you that you'll see. It's a marketing material.
There we go. There we go. Marketing materials.
But I can't wait to be back at the track. I love it.
It's fun. I hadn't been to a race in probably 5 years, which is crazy because I live 3 minutes from Rome Speedway.
Well, they quit racing this year. They didn't sell it.
I know everything was done. They were going to sell the joint, and it fell through for whatever reason.
I'm hoping they bring it back.
I hope so.
I mean, 20 minutes to the racetrack.
I like East Alabama, like the novelty, because there's only a wall on the front straight.
Yeah.
But like Rome Speedway, we went to Bristol the first time they covered it with dirt.
Yeah.
And I liked the racing at Rome better. Like it's so good. The racing at Rome is so good.
Rome has multiple grooves.
Yeah.
You don't have to run top or bottom.
Yeah, it's a big wide racetrack.
You know, Dixie, I mean, the only way you're passing there is bumping somebody.
Yeah. What's weird, it's kind of D-shaped.
Yeah.
So there are like only a couple of places where you can really set up a good pass without a bump and run. And then you end up in a fight in the pit. And that's not fun.
Like you said, East Alabama without that wall and how it's a top groove speedway.
Yeah.
I'd never been to a track that was top groove.
Yeah.
And so seeing Kayla ripping it around that top.
That's wild, isn't it?
I mean,
like even in North Georgia, this as small as it has been, it's like a third of a mile or whatever. Like it's a multi-groove racetrack, which is crazy. You see 3 wide racing there.
See, when I was there for the last race of the season, it was not.
Yeah.
It was a single groove, bumpy track. And they said that they were working on it.
Yeah, the people running the joint.
That they're redoing
God
it for this
them.
season.
Good, they needed to.
They've been doing a lot. I know they're installing new lights. That was my biggest gripe about the
lights
place.
have always been garbage there. But let me clear, I don't think they're bad people. I just think like the guy that owned the place had some health issues, and they had to cancel a bunch of races at different times. And like I think they had just bitten off more than they could chew.
Yeah. Well, this season they've got a lot of big races, especially compared to Dixie.
It's great
Dixie
racetrack.
hasn't. Their schedule is not.
Dixie's not a good racetrack.
They're not bringing people in.
It's not fun to go to. It's weird. It's like in town now.
Yeah.
Because the Woodstock has grown. It used to be way out in the sticks, and Woodstock's grown out to it now. And
yeah, North Georgia's got Hunt the Front and a couple Super Series coming through. And I'm like, oh, that'll be fun.
Yeah, yeah. We used to get, like at the time that we were racing there, they had kind of gotten away from all that, and it was not in great shape. But
you kind of get that with the fringe
come in.
away. I mean, what's the nearest city? Chattanooga?
Yeah. And like Ronnie Johnson would come down and race there.
Yeah.
And Dale McDowell from Rossville, people like that. But they didn't have like the big name races that that came in. But I guess now they are, and that's cool. I like that track.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
They said the track has been, this was my first time going, and they said it was very uncharacteristic of it.
Yeah.
But they said that they're doing a lot of stuff. I've seen it in the off season on their Facebook page.
Yeah.
Upgrading lights, upgrading, really just getting the track ready.
Right.
It's hard to, you rarely see that from promoters.
Yeah.
The only promoter that I knew that really took pride in making sure they had the top track was Bubba Pollard down at Sonoya.
Yeah. I've never been there before.
It's a great track.
Yeah. That's what I hear.
It's my favorite one photography wise because they've got lights everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
And even when the lights went out, they brought out enough generator lights to where they still had lights everywhere.
Good enough. Plan B.
And so, I've gotten some great shots there. Just the positioning of everything.
I'm never ready for that thing to kick on.
But
yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll go to a race this year. Once it
tag
warms
along.
up. It's 18 degrees outside right now.
Yeah, I'm not ready to walk out and start my truck up again.
The cold, but this is a little bit much even for my taste,
I'm kind of traditional on vehicles, but all of you that have remote start, I envy you.
Oh man, Tango talks about this truck he's got with a heated steering wheel.
Oh.
What are we talking about?
I drove that thing to the airport for him the other day.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, that's luxury.
Just about drives
It's
itself.
a spaceship.
Yeah.
Like I could go and put on some music, fall asleep, wake up, and he's in the car.
Yeah, right. In the new Trump economy, though, I think that kind of truck is in your near future.
I hope so.
Now that you're going to have twice the money.
Just the Toyota version, please.
Yeah, whatever it is. It's heated steering wheel, heated seats, backup camera.
Yeah. I mean, pulling it into his garage, it's got about 3 inches on each side of clearance.
Yeah, it's a squeeze.
But then I hit that little button, it gives me the top view. It's like, I can get in anywhere.
Yeah, plenty of room, right? Yeah.
It's like having my own little mini drone.
Yeah. It looks fun. Did I drive? I did drive it the day you bought it. I drove like around the block because we were about to leave and go do a bunch of stuff. But yeah, the Trump economy, man.
Yeah.
We're all going to have nice trucks. Make great trucks.
Drill,
great
baby,
again.
drill.
Yeah. I hope, right? I mean, and I've banged on the guy. You know, we've done entire podcast episodes about being unsure about, you know, being part of his personal victory tour or whatever, revenge tour. But I mean, I got to admit, I watched the inauguration today and I was excited.
I got excited when they brought the Village people out yesterday.
I missed that. I heard about it, but they were like, the Village people are coming. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, just him dancing in the background.
Yeah. I don't know. A lot of people that were anti-Trump, even in like 2016, are on board now.
Yeah. Well, you see a lot of people like, well, I guess this is the way we're going. I might as well.
Mark Zuckerberg. Have you heard the Mark Zuckerberg thing? He's like, yeah, I think we're going to focus on free speech and, you know.
Well, after 4 years of, we didn't.
Yeah, we didn't censor anybody, but we're going to stop censoring people now. Yeah. Wait a minute, Zuckerberg.
But I think you just see the country coming together.
Yeah.
You know, they see that prosperity can be in the future if we work together. And, you know, politics aside, everybody wants more money.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people voted this time because they felt that they had more money under Trump.
Right.
And
you don't have to like the guy to understand that.
Yeah.
You know, like we had more money under Trump. We were paying less taxes. Things were cheaper.
Yeah. The world respected us.
Yeah.
Less wars.
Yeah.
I mean, Hamas said, we don't want none of that smoke.
We'll give you whatever you want at this point. Just don't shoot us. Yeah. It's a different world, you know, and you can say whatever you want about Trump, and I have, but here we are, and I think we're going to be better off for it.
Yeah.
If we can just get him to, like, dial back the college football playoff to 4 consecutive weekends and make sure there are good lights at all the dirt tracks.
Speaking of politics and football, did you see C-SPAN today?
No, I hadn't seen C-SPAN since 1991.
Somebody called in to talk. They were taking callers to talk about the election and whatnot, and somebody called in, and their biggest gripe was, you know, I respect the will of the people and who they put in office, but, you know, I don't respect, you know, I think they made a bad decision with who they put in the college football playoff and the fact that they left out Alabama.
Roll Tide. Oh my gosh. How dumb.
Alabama fans are the only people watching C-SPAN, so
I
it
guess
doesn't matter anyway.
There's a group of people that are still watching, though, to like have something to be upset about.
Yeah.
Like, who's watching C-SPAN anymore? MSNBC.
I mean, I only saw it through X. So.
Yeah. I just don't. God bless them. But I wish Alabama had been in so they could get drugged by Notre Dame.
Again. Oh, wait, no, that was opposite, right?
Yeah, but I think they're even in the all-time series. I think the last Alabama win made them even in the all-time series.
You know, this was their first win against Georgia ever.
Yeah, they were 1 for 4 now, I think.
Yeah. Georgia was never winning that game.
Yeah. Well, everybody was like, Carson Beck. Well, like, everybody wanted to get rid of Carson Beck all year, and then you got the other guy, and you lost anyway.
Even with Carson, they weren't winning that game.
No, they couldn't protect him. It didn't matter.
But
turns out Notre Dame's pretty good. Who knew?
Wrong. Just ready for next year.
Yeah. Hopefully what this does, what the college football playoff does, is get us past this thing where, like, anytime a team loses, like, they're a fraud. Like, no. Like, the other team was pretty good.
Yeah.
Well,
you look at Clemson, who barely got in.
Yeah. I forgot Clemson
and
was in.
They were the best fight of the first round.
Yeah.
I didn't care much for any of the other games.
Yeah, the other games were all dog walks. Yeah.
I wasted my time down at B-Dubs watching, I forget who it was, one of the first round games.
I don't know. It's been so long ago now. I don't remember.
Yeah. That was last year.
Yeah, it was last year. Holy smokes. So we'll wrap this up in just a second, but we gotta give a prediction first. And this, keeping in mind, we're not live right now. This will come out days later, and one or both of us is gonna have to eat some crow. So I'll let you go first since this is my show.
I hate Ohio State. Dame by 50.
Wrong.
The Shane Gillis style.
I think this is going to be a closer game than what a lot of people are expecting.
Yeah.
A lot of people are expecting Ohio State to just go in and roll like they did against Oregon.
I was afraid, yeah, and until last week, and they didn't play well. And I thought, well, if that's the team that shows up, Notre Dame will beat them.
Yeah, I think it'll be a closer game.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be really more defensive.
Yeah.
I don't think either team breaks 30 points.
Yeah, I think it's a low score.
27-24 Notre Dame.
Okay, so not by 50, but by 3.
I hope by 50.
Maybe, right? That'd be nice. And I want to say Notre Dame as a fan. Ohio State's been scary, though, because they railed Oregon.
Yeah.
And you go, well, they're just going to kill everybody. And then they struggle a little bit with Texas, but Texas is really good. Georgia had to go to overtime to beat them the second time, But I don't think Ohio State played their best game. Apparently there was some weird stuff going on in the locker room recently, so hopefully they don't come out and play well tonight. Notre Dame wins. I'm going to go Notre Dame also. You've already said I got to come up with a different score now because we can't have the same thing. Fan-wise, it's tough to pick as a fan and not, heart, not head, whatever. But Notre Dame by 3. I go by 3 also.
Wrong.
But I'm going to say 22-25. Just so we're different.
So you're expecting a fun game, some safeties, 2-point conversions.
Yeah, a trick play here and there, maybe a missed extra point or whatever, and we'll see.
I mean, that's that pro stuff.
Yeah.
I never know how to project
points.
I don't know how to project a pro game at all. Like,
I think it's easier because they're pros and they're more consistent.
None of their scores are ever like on an actual like regular number.
Yeah, because they
get 25, 23 games.
Yeah, right. Weird stuff going on. But they're professionals, and there's less 70-3 games.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I think my biggest takeaway, and I said on social media when I was going to follow the playoff that I would give an honest evaluation. I think that if you like college football and not the NFL, it's not football that you like, but it's like marching bands and cheerleaders and stuff. So NFL football is just better. They're bigger, stronger, and faster.
Oh.
The football on the field is better. It just is.
But then it comes with all that off-field stuff.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. All the which off-field stuff.
You just like
prefer?
Cam Newton's outfits. That's all you like.
Cam Newton dresses like a homeless woman, and the guy's a millionaire. I mean, I guess he's a millionaire. God bless him. He's keeping his name in the headlines.
He is.
So whatever it takes, I guess, get attention one way or the other. That's not what we do here. But if you're one of those folks that likes to, you need your name in the, do it. Do whatever you got to do. So there we are. We made our predictions. We're collectively happy that Trump's going to make America great again during the podcast presidency.
Yep.
And One Fish Productions is going to the top. Give him a holler. Check him out on the socials. We'll link them.
Hire me.
Yeah, for real. Give this dude a job. He needs it. He's going to starve to death. But that's it. We're jumping off. God bless you guys. We love you. See you next time.